How long will it take you to get abs? The first question we need to answer is how much of you is actually fat? And the reason we need to answer this question is because if we take a look at a human body, we can see that there's many different types of material inside of human body. We have muscle, we have fat, and we have things like bone. The most important thing here is fat. So on this diagram here, the red kind of fleshy thing is muscle, and this is what actually gives your abs their shape and that pop. The yellow kind of booger looking thing is the fat, and this actually is stored on your body on top of your muscle in most cases, and this is what makes it hard to actually see your abs. So the best way to actually see your abs is to lose this fat, and that's going to determine how long it's going to actually take to see your abs. So that's why the first most important question is how much of you is actually fat. So there's two possible answers to this question. You either know or you don't know. If you don't know, the next question is, do you have a tape measure? And I'm talking about the kind of flimsy tape measure that can bend, not the straight one, because we're going to need to use this to measure some of our body parts. If the answer is yes, we're going to first measure our neck circumference right above the Adam apple. You can see it on this diagram. I've marked it there. And then we're also going to measure our waist circumference. And you're going to measure this right above the belly button, but don't go so far where you're right below the rib cage because you're going to be cheating a little bit. This is where a lot of fat is stored, and it kind of helps us get a number. So from there, you're going to go to this website, Body Fat Calculator. You're going to plug in all your numbers that you just got, your weight, your height, etc., and it's going to spit out a body fat percentage number. Now, if you don't have a tape measure, what you're going to do is you're going to look at this screen right here, and you're actually going to find which picture looks most like your body. So go into your washroom, wherever you have a mirror, take off your shirt, take a look, and see which one of these you most likely fall into. And then just pick the higher number. So if you think you're 13 to 15, pick 15. If you think you're 25 to 30, pick 30. It's always better to err on the side of caution. So now that you have your number, you know what your body fat is, and it probably makes you sad. But we can change that pretty easy. So how long is it going to take you to get from where you are right now to actually having abs? And I've created 3 simple formulas to get this, but first we need to answer another question, which is what kind of abs do you want? Abs are not all the same, and depending on how much fat you lose, you're going to have a different look to your ab, a different level of your abs. And the 3 levels, I've kind of categorized them into our basic abs up here at the top. These are kind of things you can maintain year round, kind of the entry level abs. Then we have absolutely ripped. We're starting to get into model territory here. And then we have abs you could cut somebody with, which is an insane level of ab. You most likely don't even need really good lighting or to be flexing really hard to see them. They're just there always. They're popping. They're pretty crazy, and they're kind of hard to actually feel. So before you pick which ab you want to aim for, I just want to call out a warning for absolutely ripped and abs you could cut somebody with. And the warning is that when you start getting into this territory of abs, you have a potential of negative energy, sleep, mood, complications when you start getting to this low of a body fat percentage. So I just want to let all of you know who are going to start on this journey that it is rarer to have even basic abs than to even be a millionaire. So aim for something reasonable at the start. Basic abs are already a step above most people, at least in America. So once you've picked, we now move into the formulas to calculate how long it is to actually get these abs. So the basic ab formula for men is you're going to take your starting body fat percentage and you're going to subtract 13, and then you're going to times that by 1, and that's going to give you the number of weeks it's going to take to actually safely get to the body fat percentage where you actually have those abs. The formula is here for men and women. Choose the one you need to use accordingly. So let me give you an example of this calculation. We have this guy named Joe. He's a man, he's 28% body fat starting off, and he wants basic abs. What Joe has to do is take the formula, starting body fat, plug in his, which is 28%, then subtract 13% and times that by 1, and that gives 15. So it's probably going to take Joe around 15 weeks to get basic abs in a safe manner without losing lots of muscle and without getting many negative side effects along the way. So it's very similar for the other ones. It's just it starts getting harder and taking longer to safely do it, the lower and more incredible the abs you want. So for example, for absolutely ripped, the formula is the same, but you're going to have to get to a lower body fat percentage, and you're starting to get this multiplier of 1.1, which is meaning it's going to take longer to do a similar amount of work just because it starts getting harder. Your body really starts fighting you the lower your body fat gets. So for example, here, Joe, 28% body fat, we plug in the numbers for him to get down to absolutely ripped. It's going to take him instead, 18.7 weeks. And then similarly for abs you could cut somebody with, we have a multiplier of 1.3. And for the same guy, Joe, 28% starting body fat, it's going to take him now around 26 weeks to safely get to that to get to abs you could cut somebody with. So just plug in your numbers here, and that will give you a good gauge of how long it's going to take to safely get to the abs that you want based on where you're starting at. Don't get discouraged. It's just important to know how long realistically it will take. So in summary, that's how fast you can get abs based on your starting point. There's a bunch of assumptions in here. I'm assuming, a 500 calorie deficit per day, proper training and nutrition, disciplines and adherence, safe fat loss. I'm going to make some more videos on these soon in this kind of manner, kind of quick and simple. If you like it, subscribe, keep an eye out for them, and I will see you in the next one.